so the formula would be there for that. Okay? Of course, now here they only ask you to find the area of the base of the pyramid, which is a square, right? And so the area of that square would be what? How would you figure it? I don't need the answer.
Height times radius squared.
Area of a square? What's the area of anything? Side times side. Area of anything is side times side. For a square, for a rectangle. What about for a triangle? What do we say? The area of a triangle. Side times side, and then what? Take half of it, because a triangle is half of a rectangle. So that all you have to remember is side times side for area. You memorize side times side, that's for the square, it's for the rectangle, but then the triangle, you just do the same thing, but then take half of it. It's only the circle that's different, and you know those formulas. Okay, so you just have to say 1.6 times 1.6 to find the area of that square base. Or they ask you the area of this cube at the right in number 6. How are you going to find that? What is that going to be? What's the area of that? 9 times 9. Because if it's a square, you know that it's 9 on each side.
How do you figure that?
It tells you that it's 9. Number 6?
Oh, okay. I'm looking at this darn one up at the top. Okay.
What about number 3? Of that, they ask you for the area of the shaded part of it. The shaded part is what kind of shape in number 3? A rectangle. How are you going to find it? The area of it? 24 times 16. You see that 13 is not even included. Now if I want to find the volume of that, then it will be 24 times 16 times 13, because it goes 13 inches long. That's the volume of it. That's when they add that third dimension to it. Depth and height, that's volume. But just the area itself is just that face. Okay? If you look on page 252, the bottom there, it talks about the volume of a cube, of a rectangle, of a square, of a cylinder, and of a cone. Now, we didn't talk about a cone, but it doesn't matter, because again, they have to give you the formula. And they tell you here that to find the volume of a cone, you multiply 1/3 times pi, and they tell you there's, see that pi is equal to 3.14. You see that kind of wavy line there? It's not a straight equal sign, because it's not just 3.14 as we saw. It's 3.14, where is it? I guess I erased it now, but it keeps going 1428, so it keeps going. So that's why the wavy line, because it's not just equal to 3.14. So that means that it's kind of equal to, you see. So it's not just exactly. But anyway, 3.14 is telling you that's what you're going to use. So we would just say 1/3 times 3.14 times the radius squared. So you'd have to find the radius, multiply it times itself, then times the height. So you don't have to memorize that. They would have to give that to you on a test. They don't expect you to know that. All you have to do is just do what it says. You'd have to be able to multiply by 1/3. How else can you find a third of something? You can multiply by 1/3, or you can do what?
33.3.
To find a third of something, what's another way to do it besides multiplying times? To find half of something, what do? You can multiply times a half, or you can do what?
0.5.
Divide by. To find half of something, you would divide by 2. So to find a third of something, you would divide by
3.
3. Don't ever forget that. We've said it a lot of times, but go over it. I keep saying it so that you can remember. Because a lot of you have problems multiplying, you would have a problem multiplying 1/3 times 3.14. You say, I don't know how to do that. Well, it's gonna end up being what I just said. I say 1/3 times 3.14, don't get all, as they say, get your panties in a bunch, because you see a fraction and a decimal. 1/3 times 3.14, 1 times 3.14, 3 times 1, just like you do any other fraction. And how would you have to simplify that? Divided by 3. So you can just do that in the first place. To find 1/3 of something, you can multiply times 1/3 or divide by 3, because that's what you end up doing anyway. So if you see that, you won't say, oh, I can't do this. So you could just forget about that 1/3 at first, multiply 3.14 times radius squared times height, whatever your answer is, divide it all by 3. And you'd have the answer to that. Look at page 253. Over there. I'm sorry, 255. Page 255. And look at number 6, just to show you what you could have, and don't let it frighten you. It says the formula for the volume of a sphere is volume equals 4/3 times pi times the radius cubed. Doesn't matter, just do what it says, because they're going to give you everything. It says where V is the volume, R is the radius. To the nearest cubic inch, that means they want a whole number, what is the volume of a sphere? With a radius, you don't even have to know what a sphere is. They've told you how to find it. Let's put the formula up. You read it to me. The formula for the volume of a sphere says V is equal to what? 4/3 pi
Radius 3.
radius cubed. Okay? What did they tell you radius was?
The half of the
No, what did they tell you the number is?
3.
What is it?
3 inches.
Where you getting 0.4? Are you looking at the
She
question?
was looking at the picture. She was looking at the picture.
It's not a picture.
Oh. It says 0.4 on the number.
Look at the, yes, but look at the question you're reading. It says
Okay.
the radius of 3.
Right.
And pi, they tell you, is 3.14, right? So now we're changing it to this. Times this, cubed, right? Radius cubed. So, radius cubed means what? 3 times 3 times 3, not 3 times 3. It's 3 times itself 3 times. Just like squared is times itself 2 times, cubed is times itself 3 times. This little number tells you how many times to write the big number down and multiply it times itself. It's not 3 times 3. It's 3 written 3 times and multiplied. So what does that equal? 27. 3 times 3 is 9, times 3 is 27. Okay? So now we got to do 27 times 3.14. Times 4/3.
You lost me with Paris.
I'm just
Yeah,
dividing.
Yeah,
why
me
did you
too.
divide right there?
3 into 3 is 1 time.
No, but why did you switch to to division instead
Because
of?
this says 339.12 over 3,
But why you
which
do
says
the 4?
divided by 3, huh?
Why did you do the 4?
Why did you
4
multiply the
times
4?
this. How do you multiply
I
fractions?
thought you crossed it.
Not when you multiply. We're
No,
not
no,
doing
no. It's just
percent.
that. It's just that you
She's trying to
multiply. You
simplify.
multiply the 4,
You
but then
can
you
simplify, I
divide
could
it.
cancel that.
Yeah, that's what I
But
was
everybody
saying.
doesn't cancel, it doesn't matter, it's gonna come
Oh,
So
out
the
the
number
same.
on bottom is you're supposed to divide it.
The number on the bottom, you divide into the top.
Oh, okay.
If you had 7 halves, what would you say that equaled?
1 1/2.
Just 1?
Oh, I mean, 3 1/2.
And what did you do to find that? You divided 2 into 7.
7.
3 with 1 left over.
Mhm.
Fraction sign is always a division sign. And anytime the top number is larger than the bottom number, you have to simplify it. Okay? In any fraction.
So since it canceled itself out, you just divide the.
It didn't, nothing canceled out. What canceled? Let's go back to this
I
problem.
think he was talking about where I said you get the 3 and
When you multiply fractions, you multiply top times top, bottom times bottom, simplify or reduce the answer. That's how you
Oh,
multiply
okay.
fractions.
That's the step we
missed.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
that's
it
why I
right there.
erased them and went back. So I had to, I didn't know this in my head, so I had to make a separate problem.